Call the meeting order at 6:36 on April 9th. Historical Commission. The minutes were sent out by Jim a couple days ago. Has everybody had a chance to read them?
Yes.
Okay. Tom, do you have a chance?
I have them, but I was absent for the meeting anyway, so I will not be voting on them.
Okay. I sent kind of an update to you on that thing about soil around first. Box space. And the other thing, that's the top of page 3, Tom, but the other thing I want to mention, I don't think we should put in action items in the minutes.
Okay,
You know, unless we actually state them at the minutes. This is kind of
we did state that.
all these
Yeah,
things?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these are
All right, as long as we state them.
Yeah, that's the only time I put them in is when we specifically state them. I mean, we don't say action item, but we say.
We can say action item.
Action item, yeah. But yeah, it's just like, you know, you say we get the updates from streets and parks.
Yeah.
You said that, and I know you said you didn't remember, but we did talk about
Oh, yeah.
with the,
I have to go over that again.
yeah, it was just when you handed me the letters giving back the CPC money. I had asked about, you know, whether we could get Google
Digital
folder or
copy.
something like that, yeah, to store on the town's website, so it's not just in my personal file.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
Oh, look. I could see you. Sorry, Ken. Linda, who's that?
It's Lynn.
Lynn, hi. We can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Are you still in your car?
No, I just got in.
Oh, okay.
I was getting out of the car and getting into the house when you called, so.
And you can stay online?
Yep.
Okay, so Ken, if you have to leave, you can do it. We've got 4.
No, I'll stay. I can watch the recording of the other, but thank you.
Okay. All right, any comments on the minutes then?
No.
They look good. Great.
Motion to pass the minutes as amended with that one change of the grapes. Someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to pass the minutes as amended.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So,
Absent.
okay, 1 abstention, Tom abstains, and 3-4. Okay. Pardon?
4.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4.
Yeah, that's right. 4-4. All right, the budget, bills, paid bills, we don't have any bills, I guess, this month either, but I had a budget report put in my mailbox the couple days ago. Actually, it might have been yesterday. I got this out of the mailbox. And so I was going over tonight just to check some stuff out. And it looks like now, if you recall, back at town meeting last spring, they cut our budget. I think we were $500 the year before. And when we got there, we found out it was $250, I believe. It's going back a ways. And so on town meeting floor, I objected to it. And I wanted it put back where it was. Because nobody told us anything about them decreasing it. And with the you know, anniversary coming up, we wanted to keep that up there. So that they voted and we're supposed to get our $500 budget. I think we actually, when they changed it, they gave us $1,000, right? So we had $1,000 in our budget this year.
Wow.
We haven't spent much, and that isn't new news. We were, you know, when they did that, we talked about it. We were surprised, but pleased. So with this budget report, they've taken $750 out as a transfer. So it leaves us with a budget of $250, which is, how can they do that when they voted in money for us and now they just transfer it out? So I have to find out now what's going on with that. Right now, we have $250 budget. We have some money left over from a couple other items, but it's legitimately not ours.
When did it go up to 1,000?
I think, right after town meeting, actually, see if I got something in here. It's February, town meeting was in, well, there's 1,000 right there. Let's see. Trying to remember if it was 1,000 for that or not. I thought it was $500. But it looks like it was, $1,000 going back to early '04. And it looks like in, 2003, it was $400. I have to go back and check it out. But the point is, we did have 1,000 and it was reduced arbitrarily to 250 today, or very recently.
Yeah. How many? That was in February?
It was in, April, I think, April or May.
Oh, of last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So subterfuge, something.
Do we get tariffed?
Did we get what?
Tariffed?
What? Did we get what?
Tariffed.
Tariff.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, the terrorists didn't go on today. They went back. Trying to figure out who's making money on that deal.
Exactly.
You know?
Everybody but me.
Well, people that know when it's going up and down. Anyway, so that's the budget, the bills report. I have to investigate that. There's an action item for us. I can check with the treasurer, the accountant on that item.
Mail or pay bills?
That was unpaid bills, budgets, yeah. Okay, in the mail, we received a couple things that we're gonna talk about, the ZBA request. And, I think we have the, we consider this part of the mail, that Smith's Lane Bridge project. I did, get a copy of a letter from them, from a company called WSP. And they are doing the consulting for the bridge repair work. Actually, they're gonna replace the bridge over Smith's Lane. And, the highway super doesn't know anything about it. He said, oh, you could contact Mass DOT or whatever, but anyway, so I got the letter from this company that's doing that. And they're going to replace the bridge entirely, and they're gonna have a 4-lane bridge going across Route 3. It's gonna be higher than the old one. And where the lights are coming off of Route 3 onto Smith's Lane there, from northbound, you make that loop and you come to the lights, that's gonna be a rotary. Plan to put a rotary in there. So that'll be interesting how they get into the neighborhood with a rotary up there too. I don't know how close this project is, it's just they're asking for comments from us. We have, well, you can't see that, but this is the area between the exit and the traffic lights that they're gonna be working on the whole stretch. So that'll be closed for quite a while. And so they're asking the historical commission for their comments on the project, if there's anything historical we have to worry about. And you know the area there.
Thank you.
Smith's Lane coming across.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, can my comments be as a resident that's gonna be completely annoyed with this, or do I have to stick to a historical perspective?
The historical perspective, but where do you live up there?
I live right at the bottom of Smith Lane on Crescent Street.
Yeah, well, apparently that.
But
is-
no, that's fine. I mean, they really do need to do something, particularly with the Amazon place up there now, because at certain points in the day, that intersection's almost non-negotiable. So, I can't think of any historic anything that's up there that would be impacted that wouldn't have already been looked at when the mall was put in and everything else. So,
Yeah, and the original bridge as well. So I don't, and it's a high area, not near any water really,
No,
although the, Nick, what's it, not Nick's Rock, it's Pulpit Rocks up there by the sewer system, but I don't really see any cause for concern there. Anybody else?
I don't either.
No, all right, well, I'm gonna try to get plans for the project, or preliminary plans anyway, so we know more about it, but right now, we don't see any, I'll let them know.
Is WSP, is that the construction firm or is it a consulting?
It's a
firm?
consulting, let's see. Let's, WSP. I thought I saw something in here where it said that they were doing the consulting work on it, but they must.
I'll go through and give you.
Anyways, so that's part of the mail today. The other part of the mail were these two new ZBS requests, ZBA requests. We've been getting them, they're very good about notifying us about stuff. One is on 81 Howlands Lane. It's a house that guy wants to put a porch outside. New house right on the corner of Howlands Lane and Lay Ave. Got a picture house here. Porch wants to go right there. Nothing really concerning us. Yeah, I don't believe. Yeah, so it's a modern home. Yeah. This is a garage, and one there's a door there, and put a porch in.
And the garage is new as well?
Pardon?
The garage is new with the house? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an old house. Let's see. Okay, so there's I think they're standing on Howlands Lane, and that's Lay Road going down. You can see the garage off to the left, and there's a fenced in area. They're gonna put a porch off of that. And I guess it's a they need to get a waivers because of the distance to the lot lines or whatever. For the porch. So I don't really see any historical need for that. You guys? No concerns?
No.
No?
no.
No.
Okay. I'll let them know that. Action item. That GBA know. The other one was on 2 Braintree Ave. Is that the one? I'm sorry. Yes. Braintree Ave, I got the map here too. It's on this picture. 2 Braintree Ave, which is right down on the water. They are going to put additions on the house. And if you've been down there, it's a very tight neighborhood. A lot of houses close by. There's actually an open lot right here where this house is gonna go. First, this is a map. Sorry.
Yeah, I pulled it up on my internet. That's
And
pretty
I'll-
tight. Where are they gonna be adding?
House, well, it's, I can't move over there. That house right there. Okay, this one.
Yeah,
And it looks like. Looks like this. There's a picture of it. This is from the assessor's office.
yeah.
So, I mean, there's room to do stuff. But historically, the house doesn't appear to be historic, and the land around it has probably been pretty well leveled off in the past. I'll read it's kind of confusing, they're right up here. They want to add a bunch of stuff to it. Let's see.
I mean, I guess I'm just looking at the satellite picture and it's pretty, I mean, this isn't our problem. I suppose it's a zoning problem, but I'm just trying to figure out where they're gonna put anything else. It looks like they've tacked stuff on every place it could pretty much go.
Well, they say they're proposing to construct a 7.8 foot by 19.8 foot, 1-story addition on the rear of their dwelling by enclosing the existing covered portion of their deck. The lot and dwellings, is about conforming and stuff. That's what they plan.
Oh, okay.
So it's on the rear of the building, which is the one facing the road, right?
Picture should know.
Yeah, I can see the deck now. So if they're saying they just want to go over that and like kind of close in that area, you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what that, but
I don't see anything, but, anyway, so it's not gonna be affected historically, I believe. You guys seen a problem with that? No. Interestingly enough, I was looking through Google Maps to get a view of the house. These were from the town GIS. And there's a site there, there's a house lot right on the corner of Braintree, the other side of Braintree Ave. And somehow it's totally blurred out. You can't see
Oh.
what's there on Google Maps. I don't know whether you can request
I
that.
think it's, yeah, I think.
Yeah, they requested it.
Yeah, you can go and you can email Google and request that your property be.
Very strange, but you go all around, you know, either street and it's whatever angle you try to see, it's like blanked out. It's fun, you can see people, isn't it?
Celebrities and stuff do that because they don't want people, whenever the car goes by or whatever, like seeing different cars in the driveway or gates or whatever. And then
Mhm.
some people are just privacy fanatics.
You think it's a celebrity there? No,
Probably not.
But maybe
We
they're
probably
trying to-
know.
Maybe they were trying to build that addition without telling anybody.
Yeah.
they're on the wrong side,
Yeah.
you know? Okay. So, on to other business here. The 300 book project, do you have any updates on that? Presentation ideas or whatever? Ken?
Tom, you want to mention anything?
Yeah, well, things are rolling along very rapidly. Gee, I just received today, 3 chapters of the book, to look over, and it's really quite beautiful. Everything's organized. We've been working on, not only writing articles and getting articles, but, putting them in, getting images that go with them, proofreading, material. So it's a lot of work. And then the second thing we're busy trying to do is to get more funding. And we do have a matching grant right now. And anybody who can contribute any amount of money to this worthy project, we get it's doubled. So so we had a contribution recently for $250 and a $500 contribution right there. And so we've had some.
I'm really good at fundraising. So if you want like help with that, I can help you with that.
We will contact you.
Yeah, I do all different stuff for the rescues that I work with. So, raffles, baskets.
Right. It really is. We're doing okay, but there's still a need for funding to just to print it alone. It's going to be very, very expensive. But it
Yeah.
is a lovely thing. By the way, we're making historic discoveries along the way, even now, just
Oh, yeah.
very interesting things. So Ken is working enormously hard on the project, and so.
And Ken, what about and we can talk about it later, but what about like not advertising, like place an ad that you can cut a coupon out, but like sponsorships?
Yeah, we have a sponsorship section. It's right at the rear of the book, and our designer is, starting to work on some of those, and they're coming in, and we're also just separately, in some cases concurrently, doing some select business profiles of certain family-owned businesses that have been here a long time and such.
Mhm.
But we do have a place for those. Yeah.
Great. So if you have information on those, I'm happy to do some selling around.
Sure, I'll send you the sponsor sheet and any info. Appreciate that.
Perfect.
So how much is a sponsorship?
Well, they start, relatively, hopefully, modestly, just for, a family or a couple or whatever, $100 to have their names and a little bit more to have a brief message in memory of someone, $150, let's say, and then they go up from there.
If-
Yeah,
So, sorry, if you did that, if you did the sponsorship, can it still get that one-to-one matching grant?
yes.
Or is
Yeah,
that a
whatever
different
contribution.
category in some way?
No, it's just a contribution.
Yeah.
If it's to, Kingston 300 Inc.,
Yeah, you don't get that
that will
match.
get the matching, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
good.
the don't know, sorry, the gentleman who's arranged the matching uh, gr- donation campaign is it's very open-ended until we run through the limit that he set. So it could be it really could be a $10 donation, maybe $100 from a family up to, a quarter page, let's say, business sponsorship of $2,500. They'll all be matched.
Okay, so you have business pages too.
Yes, oh, yes.
Yeah.
And you have private individuals and businesses,
Mhm.
families.
Cool.
Very well, yeah.
So anything else about the books?
Well, I don't know, Ken, what do you think?
No, that's great for now. Rolling along.
Yeah, we are moving along, and I'll tell you, it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
Especially for you.
Yeah,
Where are you currently advertising the donations? How are you getting word out on that?
John?
Yeah, Tom, starting with the Jones River Village Historical Society membership, a bit through, our Facebook and really just our contacts, and then any business contact. Jim Farrell, our, editor, and myself have really been out there a lot, and through the Chamber of Commerce. So we're mentioning this wherever we can.
And if I talk to somebody and they wanted to donate, where would I direct them to go to just give them your
To me,
name?
my
Yeah,
name.
okay,
Yeah.
That, thanks, Jim. Yeah, Tom is the corporate address.
300 Inc.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
They send it
Do you
right
have
to
a
me.
website
I'm the
that's
treasurer.
like set up for Venmo or PayPal or any of those?
No, we haven't had time to do it. We don't have anyone to do it.
I'll do
We
that
have
for
a
you.
website, but
Yeah,
let's talk. That'd be terrific. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean we have Venmo, set up for no, not for pre-orders, for these donations, but anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
thanks,
yeah.
Lynn. We'll talk. Yeah.
Okay, John's not here for the anniversary committee. I don't know if anybody's heard anything about that. If professional memberships, KHC, I guess this got left on. We talked about it last time. Is there anything additional we want to talk about with that? There are two webinars coming up. I sent out the information for you guys from the NAPC. One in a week or so, another one at the end of the month. And if you can tune in, some of them are pretty interesting. I don't know who this one's gonna be, but if you have time, it's during the day though, so it's gonna be tough for you. Civil War graves photos, you got the photos?
I got the photos. What do I do with them?
Well, I think get a copy of those things so we can.
Do you want this?
Yeah, might as well. If it's in a format right now.
It is, there's two different files on there. One is the original and the other one is, let me do that access.
Okay.
I'll look at before you go.
And actually, yeah, so we were talking about, putting stuff up on Google, basically. It kind of ties into the QR codes, but these are things that we might have a file and
Yeah,
to store stuff on.
yeah, it'd be great, just like a Google folder or something, just, right, we could have these in there, the letters that, the commission writes, and, rather than have it in a private
Yeah,
person's file, just to have it more officially documented.
I think it's even the Norwell Historical Society or the Historical Commission actually did the same thing. They restored graves, Civil War graves, and they took beautiful pictures of them and put them online. People can look at them. and this is what your community preservation grant achieved, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
And my nephew who lives in Norwell sent it to me, and it's, wow, there was a bill, and it's really nice.
yeah. Well, that's good.
It's something to think about,
Yeah.
the town has. can do that,
Yeah, it's, one of the difficulties is that they're very protective of their access to the posting here. It's gotta go through the channel. And,
He likes history. I mean, we don't have to barrage it with a lot of things, but maybe
No.
one or two graves that came out really nice.
no, I mean, no, but it's a good idea. That's something that people do.
I mean, if
should.
you wanted to, the Kingston Historic Commission could set up their own website for not that much if you wanted to have it kind of hosted separately.
We may have to do that, when we get the QR codes, which are coming up next year. Yeah, next. Because as I mentioned to you guys, the QR code, that it seemed to work, what we wanted to do. I
Yeah.
don't know the capacity, she doesn't either. She was asking how many of these things would we want to have posted on their website. I don't, what are we looking at for our graveyard project? We're looking for 100, basically, that we might have write-ups on, which links to the town website. The veterans memorials, how many of those are we looking at doing? A couple dozen? So were we talking 100, 150, 200 things? Comments?
Well,
Good
I
question.
think there are different categories of interest. You have like town historical interest, like the founders of the town. It's like you have veterans of historical importance, one of the patriots that went off in the Minutemen, and maybe General Thomas, and William Seaver, who was an important revolutionary. Then you have ministers, it's few ministers in there, and then there is the artistic aspect, because the person may not have been particularly famous, but one of the great carvers did this stone or that stone. So I imagine you could probably put a couple of dozen of high interest to begin with, and then
What about the house plaques too?
House plaques?
Yeah, like you could have a section on the houses. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we wouldn't Q code the people's house.
Well, you could, we used to have the walking tour, and when we had special days in town, we would put out little signs at each house, basically, on stakes, and it had the number on the walking tour. And I was thinking, before you mentioned that, well, you could have a QR code on that.
Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't be permanent outside their house, but it'd be for special days. When we have the house tour.
sure.
basically.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's another.
But we could even, like, if the church, for example, Tom, I'm sure that's architecturally significant. And so, maybe if the church has a QR code, or one of the other buildings that has some architectural significance, it could then also link to the home, so they don't have to have the code, but they could get it by being in the greater touring around area.
Yeah, could be. So I guess what we could tell her is 200 to 300 basically, but we probably the max that we do for it, as far as we know.
Yep.
The problem being that when they generate the QR code, they get the Barney code. Okay, you saw that, I sent it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the, whoever you use to do it. There's a bunch of them out there. And the one that we use at school, which is free,
Yeah,
doesn't have that.
and what's that called?
I had it before I came in right now. I'll get it back.
See, because when I asked her about it, she said, well, this is what we use. And kind of like, it's one of those deals where, you're asking for something and you don't want to ask for more, But this is not going to be acceptable for our.
You don't like parking?
Yeah.
Not for this one.
No, there's a
No.
million providers and they
Yeah.
should actually even be able to give you one without the logo.
Yeah, it won't be hard to find that.
Okay, you can send it
I'll,
out.
I'll get
I'll
the name of
forward
it.
it to her,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
So we can start on it, and I used Tom's write-up from one of our newspaper articles before,
Came through great.
and, when you go on, it takes it right to it. Now, if we want to add to that or change it, we can still do it. All we have to do is send her the new word update, and she'll load it, and it'll go onto that QR code.
That would be really good for the 300, that's for sure.
Yeah, so the Veterans Memorial too, they were talking about doing it for the other memorials. I don't know if anybody's written anything up on those from the veterans group or not, or do we have histories?
Oh, we have, Craig, excuse me, we have the whole, they call it the genesis of the, Kingston Veterans Memorial. It's in the book. They wrote it, the working group, incredible piece. It's got all the documentation for the record of how they did it.
So parts of that could be used for a QR code for each individual memorial.
No, more just a backdrop as needed. But I mean, there's a few specs in there, but they're not like each tablet. There's not something, let's call it, for each service branch and et cetera. And the main, I'll just call it a tablet. There's nothing specific written on each of them, but I'm sure they do it, very quickly.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, we'll pursue that anyways, get those things going. So hopefully we can get this finally out and changed over. Are we having luck on the, no, don't have to mention it, okay. I'm going to draft a letter to send out to, whatever his name is there, and see whether we can get something committed from him for the next year. Whether it's him coming and talking about how they do the show and how this one related to it, or whether we can have a special showing of this one, or have the other guy come down and talk. So we really want to kind of follow through with that. This other stuff we haven't talked about, town meetings coming up. Is it this Saturday?
Is it?
I don't know. I think-
No.
I see no message in town.
Yeah, that's
No
right.
sign.
I saw it was April. Does anybody know offhand? I'll check it out.
Yeah, I didn't think it was April, because usually, yeah, they have on the, right, the fire station there.
Yeah, that's
They'll have
true,
that sign,
yeah.
I haven't seen
For some reason, I was thinking it's April weekend. Kingston Town
I have it as the 26th
of this
of
month.
April. Yeah.
Yep. I was just gonna say I'm on the website Saturday at 9 AM.
Okay, now. This, they had the finance committee did all the recommendations. And our project, community preservation projects are here. The Evergreen Cemetery. The finance committee did 2-2-2, they voted. Those are favorable vote, 2 against, 2 for, and 2 abstaining. The community preservation committee 6-1-0, their vote for the Evergreen Cemetery. And for ours, they call it appropriation to fund historical tree evaluation at the old burying ground. I don't know how I took that, but finance committee voted 3 in favor, 1 abstaining, 2 against. And community preservation voted 6 for, 1 abstain, and none against. So the selectmen were gonna give their vote last night, and I don't know how it worked out. I didn't see it last night. They hadn't voted on any of these things. I didn't know whether anybody had to catch it or not. Whether they had, whether there was anybody about, don't put any trees down might have been there, or what are we doing with this, or something like that. But I guess we'll find out about it, because these votes now are coming up, instead of being like, what it used to be, the CPC recommended something and that was it. Now it's like, well, the CPC recommends it, but some people were against it, and they ask, well, why are you against it? And it just kind of raises a whole bunch of issues, So town meeting, we're gonna have to go, well, someone's gonna have to go make sure we're there to answer questions on the project. I don't know how the chair of the CPC is gonna run it this year. Hopefully they'll go through like they did before. Basically, it's just a quick thing. Okay, this is what I recommend, and you know, it's kind of a rapid vote thing instead of a long drawn out presentation and everything else. But the 26th, mark it on your calendar, and if you can be there, be there. I want to talk to John tonight about, with our reduced budget, I don't know how it's gonna go, but I want to talk about purchasing those supplies for cleaning the gravestone that he talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Might as well do it with this year's budget if we can do it.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so action item, to John about, supplies for gravestone. I've been after another tree contractor for an estimate on the old burying ground trees. And it's like pulling teeth. I don't know what the story is with that. These are big jobs, and it's very hard to get someone to give us an estimate. I'm still on them, and you know, if we are approved with the CPC article at town meeting, then we can go out and either ask for bids or ask for quotes. Try to get a few quotes, and one of them was very low price that we got. So that wouldn't even require a bid, but we'll go from there.
I thought we had 3.
We had, we did have kind of 3. One is, kind of an estimate, okay? But this is another one in there, just a local one, so we can get more people on the books.
Yeah.
Because when we got that low bid in there, it was kind of like, it wasn't a bid, low quote in there. It's like, well, that puts it below the bid level. Let's see if we can get another one that's below that level. If it is, that's how we'll go. All right, so that was what I had tonight. Here we have, one thing that this fellow was, sorry, I'll go back to that tree guy. One thing is I spend my nice days walking through over there. I never see you over there, Tom. You're the cemetery expert, but he was coming back with me like saying, well, we may have to put metal plates over the parking lot to the old townhouse because the septic system's there. And we're gonna have to check out and see how that septic system in the leaching field is built. I suspect it was concrete, not plastic, but there's a whole host of issues with the job as far as getting the trees in the middle, the reach of the cranes and where they're gonna position everything. So that is something we're gonna have to look at. They're gonna get the old townhouse sewage plans. Police details, they're gonna provide from, they're gonna have to restore any damage to private property like the lawns. They use the cranes on somebody's lawn.
Sorry, you said police details, they.
For road push, they're gonna have to use it.
The company that is
Yes,
doing.
that's part of the
When
problem.
you said about the problem with septic system, you're talking about the First Parish Church?
No, they'll avoid that.
Yeah, there is to the left of the church, that
Okay.
strip of green in front of the wall.
Yep.
There is a septic system.
Yeah. You've got the plans for it, but this one is where the houses, old townhouse has the parking lot now for their cars.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
That is that's the leaching bed. So they have to drive the heavy equipment across it, and that's what they're worried about. They're not gonna set up for there, but they're just worried about the crane's gonna have to do a good sized crane.
They're gonna have to get through that opening too, which is, probably have to remove some of those.
One of them, one guy, the last guy I talked to, said they may have to remove the granite
Granite,
post that's
yeah,
on the left side,
Put it back later.
yeah. Which,
Remove the cars too later.
I know. I was thinking, the cars, the owners tend to park in front of that gate that's there, they put a chain across, which is removable, but I mean, that's okay. It's not really for the public to use so much as it's the town access or for vehicle access to the cemetery. So, well, we have to send them another letter about that, but ask them to try not to park avoid parking in front of the gate. If they can. And we may have to put a sign up.
Pick their car up and swing it around with the crane.
No, I don't think there'd be any problem when we're gonna do work there, but suppose the town wants to get in there to mow or something, or they wanna bring something in. the
Right.
town-
Yeah.
Well, what do you do, you know? So if they got room, avoid parking in front of it, and, you know, we may put a sign or something up that says, not public access, but town right of way or something, please keep clear.
Town right away, keep clear, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, also, they still have stuff in front of the, on cemetery property, by the horse house.
yeah.
They've never moved it, and now there's
Well, I did
shovels,
move a lot of stuff from
They
here.
moved
but still
a lot of
there's
stuff,
something there.
but a lot of stuff is, there's still too much there, there should be nothing there. And now there's shovels there,
Mm,
and there's still a grave, I think the guy's name is Charles Brown.
He's right there.
He's right there, and they have stuff on top of his grave, come on.
They told you they moved the gravestone over into their
And
garden.
they moved the gravestone, what is, it staggers the imagination.
They moved a gravestone.
Well, it wasn't marking a grave, but it was there. It was an old gravestone that was left there, that we were supposed to get. And I think there's a couple others there.
Inside the garage,
Well, no, it wasn't in the garage. Remember, it was alongside the foundation.
yeah, there was one that was on the, by the foundation, but there were three inside the garage.
Well, maybe that's one of them.
But we would need like a two-wheeler and a couple of strong guys to move those things, yeah, they're heavy.
All right, we're gonna have to pursue this.
Yeah.
Well, as long as Jack's still alive, assuming this.
That Jack doesn't know, he's okay, I see him, all right, he's okay.
Any other new business tonight? Ken?
No,
No. Len?
Nope.
Jim? Oh, I guess we're all set then. So we'll need, and Tom,
So,
no, seriously, go ahead. Got anything new?
I have some new stuff, but I'll tell you after the meeting.
No, we can tell, now everybody's interested, go ahead.
Oh, well, okay, I'll tell you. This is really interesting. Ken already knows about it. So, Kingston wasn't a whaling.
No,
The Seavers did have a couple of whaling vessels way back, 1760 or so, but they only lasted for about 10 years. Seaver had other fish to fly, literally and figuratively. Well, it turns out that in 1850, a whaler was built called a Greyhound, it was about 245-ton vessel. It was built at the landing, and we don't know who the builder was. In ships of Kingston, that's blank. It was owned by the Delanos and with a guy named Windsor. Well, it turns out eventually that was the Bedford. That boat was a whaler from 1850 to about 1917 or so.
really?
It served as a whaler.
Wow.
A long period of time. There are about a half a dozen ship logs that you can see online that tell about the adventure, and there are adventures. This is like something from a movie that happened to this boat.
What was the name of the boat?
The Greyhound,
Grayman.
Grey, Greyhound.
Yeah.
And then it was in, I think it was like 1919, it was in New Bedford, it was being restored or whatever they do to it. And it was a packet that went to out to the Cape Verde. And it sunk out there in 1922. At the time, it was one of only two old-time New Bedford whalers, full sails and the whole thing, still fishing the way they did in the old days, in existence. And the other one was the Morgan, which exists now at Mystic Seaport. It could have been the Greyhound if they were able to keep it together, but the Morgan made it into immortality.
Yeah.
So, if we pick this stuff up while we're writing this book, stuff comes to us and all of a sudden we go, really? We didn't know that. And I mean, it's really not mentioned in any of the books. But
Where are the ships, like you said, they're available online, who's hosting that?
there's a thing called archive.org has at least one of them. Then I think the Providence, Rhode Island Public Library has one. Maybe Mystic has one. I don't know.
Yeah.
There are several of them, but all you have to do is Google BARK, B-A-R-K, Greyhound logbooks. And And you can pick one up, and one of them, it was the earliest one, from 1851, has beautiful illustrations.
Yeah, they used to do
Did beautiful artwork
I think the wheels.
and the way it's exciting, it's just,
Yeah, I just pulled it up. That's really cool.
yeah. It is. And so that's the great thing about doing this book. And it's a lot of work, and God knows, Ken will tell you it's a lot of work that's not fun, but oh gee, to discover this stuff is just so interesting. We're just hoping that people read this history will be as interested as. And
I think Ken's been pulling his hair out over this thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, he's working hard.
he's working out.
Very hard.
No, that's cool.
And Jan Guidaboni is working very hard as well. She's a font of knowledge, to say the least. And we have other people that are working hard too, so it's very good.
Those wheels.
That's a great find, Tom. That's, oh, it's incredible.
Sheer luck that just popped up. I
Hey.
talked to Ted Baker. Do you know Ted Baker? He's a townie who loves history.
Yeah, I've talked to him before.
Yeah, and he said, my father took a picture of, my grandfather took a picture of the black greyhound. And in the Bedford, and I said, so I just went home and went on the computer and boing, there it is.
The picture?
Not the picture, but the story, a little bit of the story, and they put pieces together. Also, newspapers.com is a wonderful resource to find things, you would not normally find. And I found lots of information about the Greyhound in newspapers.
Mm.
That's interesting, because, we could check that out with the.
It says includes descriptions of whales seen or taken, accidents, deaths at sea, injuries, a rescue, and desertion.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you could write a book about the Greyhound, but of course we're just gonna put a small article.
The captain blew off 4 of his fingers on January 28th, 1886.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What else, Tom?
That's it. There's a lot more, but I'm all set. But I hope everybody who's listening to this will buy a book. It's gonna be a great.
It's just us, but we'll buy it.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, so next meeting date is, second Wednesday.
May 14, 6:30, and we're gonna be in room 203.
Really?
Yes,
So you go upstairs.
we're back upstairs.
Gonna
Get
get
to sit at
used to
the
this
grown-up table.
Yeah, used to this. All right, no other business then, we'll, accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll move that we adjourned until May 14th.
Okay. Second, anybody?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Yeah, we will do it.
I will not be able to make the May meeting. I will be out of the country.
Oh, they got you?
Yeah,
Be able to get back in is the question.
that's the question. I know. I'm
Yeah.
taking enough money with me to be able to subsist for a while outside of the country if necessary.
Well, take your 5 million with you so you can buy a golden ticket.
Right, exactly. Well, I'm not bringing my cell phone because for sure they'll throw me in jail then.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna close out here.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.